This week on Across the Arrowverse, Green and Purple Brothers, Red Daughters, and Friends Called Alex. We're back with Supergirl Season 4. Hi everyone, and welcome to Across the Arrowverse. I'm Matthew Vose.
And I'm Catherine Vose.
And before we get into this week's episode, we wanted to say congratulations to the people who entered. Thank you to the people who entered, and
Hooray.
Congratulations to the people who won our giveaway.
Hooray! Well done.
You might remember a couple of weeks ago we did a giveaway of some exciting, eloquent, gushing, pop culturally deprived merch. That is the sound of coasters clapping. We were giving away coasters, we were giving away stickers, we were giving away magnets. We had a number of people mention us or review us, so thank you very much. We were going to give 5 sets of merch away. We ended up giving 7. So if you entered, make sure you check your DMs, messages, other contact details somewhere. We will let you know and send them out to you. Thank you, and well done.
Enjoy.
We are now watching the next 8 episodes of Supergirl. So we saw the first 8 episodes, we saw the crossover, and then we watched episodes 10 through 17. Yeah, that's 8.
We watched a lot.
We watched a lot of episodes. The mid-season break really did seem to have happened before the crossover.
Yeah, I think so. There's certainly the run of episodes that we've just finished watching that happened after the crossover. There was no perceptible large time gap there.
Yeah, no, there was one moment where it seemed like it could have been a split, but it wasn't even...
Wasn't that much.
It made sense to keep going.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to give your thoughts on how it's going so far? Is there anything you want to particularly pick up first?
Well, I don't know. I'm just quite excited.
There's a lot going on.
There really is. I'm looking forward to the final 5 episodes, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've really ramped up the tension. In terms of a sort of an emotional arc, they've taken us to quite a dark place.
Yep.
They've made
Dark
lots...
place.
Dark place! Which will make sense to very few people. But anyway,
people in the world, yeah.
Dark place! They've taken us to quite a place of misery.
Yeah.
They've made an awful lot of characters move into a realm of ambiguity. Are they good? Are they bad? And now I feel like we're sort of coming out of the pit. We kind of know who's good and who's bad.
Yep.
And we're forming alliances. We're feeling confident about moving into the end stages, and it's all quite exciting. I don't know what the end result's going to be.
No.
I don't know if everyone is going to have a happy ending. There's some people who seem to be on quite a worrying trajectory.
Right.
But I'm excited.
Okay. Anything you want to pick up first? Any storylines you want to hit straight away?
Let's talk about the people with the weirdy gold face masks. What are they called?
The Children of Liberty.
That's what.
Yes.
That's what.
Okay.
Because I'd almost forgotten about them during the crossover.
Yeah.
And then, hey, we're back with this plot line. What do you make about where the Children of Liberty have gone?
I think as a whole, we talked on the last Supergirl episode about how there were a lot of plots going on. A lot of things were happening, and it was just, crikey, there's, everyone's got their own separate thing that sometimes cross over, but there's a lot. I really like how it's all being brought together. And it feels very comic booky. The fact you've had plots with Russian Supergirl and Lena, and with the racism and the Children of Liberty and a few other things, and now it's all actually Lex is behind it, which is a very, very comic book thing. Reveal the villain who's behind everything.
The real villain.
Exactly. And then sort of move on with one big plot that has all these different elements to it.
Yeah, they've kind of woven them all together like one kind of evil friendship bracelet.
Yeah. I feel like the Children of Liberty hasn't been a particularly thing in this middle section. I feel like the Ben Lockwood stuff, yes, because they've used him obviously as the face of this thing, and they're playing it on a political level rather than violence against aliens and people coming to this world. But with the last episode we saw, the announcement of martial law implies that might become a thing again.
Yeah. I've been quite interested at what I think is a not potentially unrealistic portrayal of how the group has sort of developed its own momentum, and not even Ben Lockwood can necessarily control it anymore.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know, like and the sort of the political tack that Ben Lockwood's taking. Is it really controlling it? And I know it's a little bit too serious a real world comparison to draw, but it's a little bit like Sinn Féin and the IRA.
Yeah,
you know, there's parts of the IRA that have gone the political route in Sinn Féin. There's parts of the IRA that have gone no, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah,
and have continued in a much more violent manner. Now, obviously, this is Supergirl, so we're not quite that dark.
No,
but
I think the metaphor they're trying to draw here is the difference between the Republican Party and the people who attend rallies and shout "Send her back."
Yeah,
and they're trying to sort of show that how you can't have one without the other. Almost, if you're going to be that hard line, you end up with some very negative people who work against what the common good.
Yes,
as it were.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see where that's going. It will also be interesting to me to see when this is all wrapped up, because, it's Supergirl. Whilst I'm sure there's some characters that will not have a positive end, I'm pretty sure the arc will end in a certain amount of triumph over the big bad.
Okay.
I believe it will.
Okay.
Crossing all my fingers. It will be interesting to see if the Children of Liberty as a far extreme political force lingers on.
Yeah.
Because you can get rid of Ben Lockwood, or you can redeem Ben Lockwood, and we will go into that.
Yeah.
But you can't necessarily get rid of the prejudices in the minds of a whole section of the community. So, yeah.
And there is a sense with the Lockwood character that he has ended up on a trajectory that he doesn't necessarily want to be on. Some of these political things where he's questioning it, he's seeing the other side of things, and he's just feeling the pressure to maintain the public image of, I'm the front of this and I have to be anti-aliens every time. Which he might not be if he wasn't under that pressure. So.
And one would imagine that at some point he'll find out that he's actually a puppet and his strings are being pulled by Lex Luthor.
Yep.
I can't imagine that's going to go down incredibly well.
No, you'd hope.
You'd hope.
But you could also see it being, well, he's still fighting for the right thing, depending on what happens with Lex. So.
Yeah, because actually, do you think there is a similarity between the background beliefs of Lex Luthor and Ben Lockwood? What their ethoses, are they the same, or are there distinct differences between them?
I think there are differences between them. So I think I've said I like the way Lex is written in general in the modern age, that he is anti-Superman because he's humanity's reliance on Superman to stop disasters, to stop bad things happening.
Yeah.
Whereas he thinks mankind is better when it stands on its own.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed that as a... not portrayal, that's the wrong word. But rather than the old school Superman, the old school Lex Luthor, who was in it for greed and power, and Superman was the one who stopped him, so that's why he hated Superman. Which is a little two-dimensional.
Yeah, quite an immature portrayal of bad guy and good guy. So
I don't think they're doing the Lex is xenophobic and wants to get rid of all aliens, but he sees Superman as the big, target main one of that, and Supergirl now. So that's why he's fighting against it and using this general racism, xenophobia that we're seeing.
Yes.
To sort of marshal his needs.
Yeah, no, I get that. I agree. I agree.
They did the rally episode, and this was the one where it all came to a head.
Yes.
And they were doing what seemed to be some fairly obvious writing and elements to it and now everyone's fighting each other, and we've got some very somber music about it being a mad world. But then we see people who were xenophobic helping the aliens because they realise how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
It is like Mandy always says on Pop Culture Deprived. You do sometimes need to call out the thing and then show that the thing can be different, or you can change. So although, this is not Supergirl fixing racism, as simple as it was, I do think they were sort of showing the right thing.
Yes. And I know it was very deliberate, emotional music, but
which works.
It worked for me. I shed
Yeah.
a tear or two. I was quite moved by the overall scene.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So that's where, Children of Liberty was a big part of that first half. This middle section, I think less so, except for the Lockwood thing.
Yes.
The big thing they brought in was Lex Luthor, and properly ramping up the Red Daughter story.
Yeah.
So we'd had hints of it in the first third, and now we're going full on. It's actually a plot. We're doing stuff with it. Jon Cryer is Lex Luthor. Melissa Benoist is still evil Supergirl. Jon Cryer is Lex Luthor.
Men, manly men. Sorry.
It just takes me back to our shopping in Reykjavik and seeing those lads singing it on Icelandic Halloween Day.
Yeah, it was Carnivale, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just before Pancake Day.
Yeah.
But yes.
And all the kids go into shops and sing and get sweets for singing. And they do it in costumes. And there were some lads dressed up as, I think, like Kylo Ren and Darth Vader or something, singing the theme tune to 2.5 Men.
It was a little surreal, wasn't it? It was quite cute,
it was
but
a
it was a
great
little
day
surreal.
Shopping to see all these kids singing songs.
Yeah.
Jon Cryer. I was trying to remember what it was as I was watching this performance, thinking I've seen this guy in something, and it hit me. He's Ducky from Pretty in Pink, as well as a number of other things. He's a good Lex.
He's very good Lex.
And I think because the show has just gone, he's a supervillain. We can make him be as bad as we want to be. So lasers, killing police, killing an entire courtroom of people and glorying in it. It's quite nice, actually.
It's quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah, because they always, and they do write generally quite well. Villains with shades of grey, people that you can see their motivation, but also it's something that works against our heroes. So, no, this guy's just gone full bad now at this point.
Yeah. And sometimes it's actually quite relaxing to watch someone that's clearly good fight someone that's clearly bad.
Yeah.
It's proper escapist fantasy.
Yeah.
Whereas when your good guy and your bad guy are both very close to the same line and are constantly agonising over moral shades of grey, I mean, it does genuinely, most of the time, make for a more interesting portrayal.
Absolutely.
But every now and then, if you just want to relax in pure fantasy, you want your good person to be good, beautiful Melissa Benoist being good,
Yeah.
and your bad person to be bad, walking out of a manor, whistling, clicking fingers, shooting lasers, and blowing up helicopters. Yeah. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah. The fact that our introduction to him was, because they've been hinting at the thing he did 4 years ago and trying to turn the sun red and destroying parts of the earth because he wants to bring down Superman. And again, he's glorying in it. Yeah, it was really nice. It was a callback to the classic sort of Gene Hackman big plots. Yeah. And his portrayal is reminiscent of Kevin Spacey, who was quite a good Lex Luthor.
Yes.
So
yeah,
that overly dramatic, chewing the scenery sort of element.
Yes.
All that said, they've softened him with the Russian Kaznian Supergirl.
You think?
Who I wish we had a name. I think they've just given him a softer side of that final piece where he was, no, I'm Philip, you're Alexander, you're going to take over the world. I'm not sure I believe it, to be honest with you.
Because you see, I saw that as him playing a role to push her buttons, rather than him actually being softer.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm just like, no, you are now in the full bad box.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you do, I'm going to look at with suspicious eyes.
Absolutely. And I think, again, just thinking about the Lex that we know, he's not someone who wants to, he doesn't care if he doesn't live forever or not. And he will probably look at the Kryptonians and think, I can find a way to do what they do. Maybe. But the show isn't hinting that that's a lie yet. Unless it's just expecting us to be reading him as evil and doing that. Yeah. I feel like it's trying to soften him a bit so they can build up to another villainous moment.
Yes.
And I like it. I like his introduction to this world. I think he's good. I don't think he's been good for Lena. I think they've made her character incredibly serious. I compared her when we were watching to Ophelia from Hamlet.
Yes.
Because she is just...
Oh,
it's all so bad.
also bad. Only I can help the world.
Yeah.
But I must do it with secrets and lies and cutting myself off emotionally from everybody.
Yeah.
Pout. Good lipstick.
Good lipstick. Yeah, I feel like it's giving her a lot of emotion, but not any fun or interest.
Do you think we're done with Lena at the end of this season? Because by the end of this season, I think we'll have had the Lex Luthor arc, and I think having Lena and Eve Tessmacher in for a few seasons has, I think it's been very well plotted to bring us up to a big Lex Luthor storyline. But Jimmy's kind of coming to the end of his storylines. Lena and Jimmy has been very tied together. If, as I predict, will have defeated Lex Luthor by the end of this season somehow.
Right.
Where is Lena's role in all of this?
I wonder if they'd bring her back from being a main character, but keep her as a very useful, she's very rich, she's very intelligent, she has a lot of resources character. I could see them going that route, so it's a...
She's like a recurring rather than a main cast.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other shows where they have a rich patron who occasionally helps them and rocks up and does stuff. Something like that.
But I do feel that they're starting to give us a bit of closure in her character, in that she and Supergirl are now bonded again.
Yeah, she's now got one over on her mother again. We keep going to that well.
Yeah.
This season. I don't know that necessarily his arc is him learning anything, except for that final piece about he's been shot and he's dealing with it through, or potentially going to deal with it through therapy. But I don't know whether that's actually character growth or just, we've got this character we don't know what to do with, so let's write him some more stories.
Because, I don't know anything about PTSD at all. But it seems slightly strange to me that this occasion of him getting shot would lead him to have this sort of breakdown when he knows that his killer's still around.
Yeah.
But apparently he's had 16 other occasions of being in hospital after having been injured, and he's been tortured by Lex. I mean, maybe it's an accumulation of events. I don't know. And he voluntarily went out as Guardian or whatever it was called and put himself in danger.
You're making me think there is a way of writing this of he has now felt invincible because he's been doing the superhero thing. And now this is breaking that down. And maybe that is something we will see. But we've not been given that so far. So yes, it is a bit like...
But I wonder if they're trying to, and maybe we just haven't seen enough of this storyline, but they're trying to do a portrayal of him feeling emotionally weak, whereas actually, because he's now had this stuff injected into him, physically, he's never been stronger.
Yeah.
And is
that's
that
nice?
So hopefully that will play out into something that starts to make a bit more sense. And we've actually, the reason it doesn't quite hang together yet is we've only just had baby steps into that part of the plotting.
Possibly so, yeah. Because we've had the introduction now of, is it Kelly Olsen?
Yes,
his sister,
Alex's new love.
I mean, I'm just reading this, but only because when she rocks up, Alex gives her a look. The look I described when we were watching this, dear listener. So if just take a moment before I say this. If you're walking, just take an extra step. Make sure you're not going to fall over. The look was described as really sad but very horny.
Yeah, exactly. Hello.
Yeah, it really was. Wasn't it? Like, oh.
You want to adopt beautiful babies with me? Because Alex is clearly, surely, going to end this season with a child. Or at least having made some significant lifestyle changes to put her in a place where she can have a child. I think she might leave the DEO by the end of this season.
I agree. Or the DEO is going to become something very different than it is.
Yes.
Which for me, that ties into your thing of it's going to be happy and it's going to wrap up and Supergirl's going to win the day and so on. I could actually see this season ending up with a slightly different world than it started with.
Agree.
With the government being different, with the way aliens dealt with it being different, the setup of the system, DEO, and the way aliens occur on Earth being different.
I think you're right, because I don't think we're going to get rid of the president.
No.
I don't think we're going to be.
We've already had
one change in president, so I think we'll still be the existing president. I think the existing president will still want to use the DEO the way he's starting to use it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think possibly Alex and possibly also Brainy.
Yep.
Will extricate themselves from the DEO.
Yeah.
They may still. Sorry, I'm just totally rewriting my own plot in my head now. But they may still have connections with scary, not quite Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
What's she called? Harley.
No.
Harley? No, Harley's a completely different character.
Yeah. Haley. April Parker Jones as Colonel Lauren Haley.
So Haley, who herself is someone who keeps stepping either side of that line between someone that we see as onside and offside, but has made comments about being a good soldier means putting your own politics down and doing the job.
Yeah.
So I think she will stay as the proper person in charge of the DEO.
Yeah, I can see that.
And may continue to have a dialogue with Supergirl and her gang.
Yeah.
But I don't see it as a natural home for Alex in the long term.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think she'll probably end up in a relationship, not necessarily with a child, because I think they've got a lot of legs on that story.
But they've been talking about this for a long time.
They have, and I think they've still got the adoption process itself.
Yeah.
I think they've got more to it. Let's talk Alex, and particularly Alex and Kara, because that's been the big thing. The hunt for who knew who Supergirl actually was, and then deciding to erase Alex's memories of that, and then dealing with an Alex who knows Kara and Supergirl, but not that they're the same person.
I don't like it.
Do you not?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I'm... Okay. When I say I don't like it, watching with my head, I find it an intellectually interesting storyline.
Right, okay.
Watching with my heart, I don't like it.
I didn't like the idea of it. I thought, this is just going back to the storylines we've had with Lena and the storylines we've had with everyone. There's almost one person per season that is, they don't know and they like one but not the other, and eventually they have to find out. I just felt like we were basically resetting one of those, which was annoying. I actually like where they've gone with it. And they are, partially because they're sticking with it, I felt like it might be undone by this point. And the fact it's not been undone and they are trying to build it in as part of the story, it's almost like they've learned how to do it well by this point, having watched all of Lois and Clark and, all the shows where we've had people hiding their identities. At this point, actually, it's quite interesting.
I found the bit where they were trying to explore the new Alex or the unknowing Alex,
yep.
and actually having less automatic sympathy for aliens.
Yeah.
Because she's lost all those memories of Kara.
Yeah.
Although she seems to have moved past that quite quickly.
Yeah.
I suppose I'm waiting for her to have some kind of mental crisis.
Okay.
Because I genuinely don't see how someone could lose quite such a large chunk of the memories and the key. What do they call them on that cartoon film where Inside Out? What do they call them on Inside Out?
Emotions?
No. The really gold, shiny
memories.
I find it very hard that someone could lose quite so many of what I consider would be their core memories without losing a huge sense of self.
Yeah.
So I keep waiting for Alex to have some kind of enormous mental breakdown, which means that Ja'an has to re-input her memories, if that's possible.
Okay.
And then what happens to the memories of the period when she didn't know?
True.
Does she know that she didn't know?
I don't think they can be put back in.
Right.
And I don't think they're going to the place of her having a mental crisis. I think it will be that even someone who doesn't know that thing can be positive and work with Supergirl.
Yes.
I think they're going to use her as almost the kind of poster girl of a rational world.
But presumably at some point, they're going to have to tell her again, aren't they?
I don't know that they will, because if she is moving into the family territory, this is the reason for hiding the secret identity.
Keeping her safe.
Is to keep people safe.
Do you think they're going to tell Lena?
Yeah.
Are we moving into a space
especially if we're done
where...
with Lena, that's one story that we've always kept back.
Yeah. And it makes sense now.
Yeah.
Although Lex knows. Lex knows because he took Red Daughter to hang out in Kara's apartment.
Yeah.
So if Supergirl doesn't
right.
tell Lena, Lex might, to try and sow dissension in the camp.
Catherine, that is a very good catch.
Boom,
That's
boom.
how they do that story. And she then feels betrayed again, and we have more drama and emotion.
More pouting with really good red lipstick.
Exactly. is that pouting?
That is.
Pouting is not good radio. That's Alex and Kara. Kara, I think, like I said last time, is mainly involved in everyone else's stories. She herself does not have a story, although with Red Daughter, that's about to come.
Yes.
So Red Daughter, we have that one episode, because they've not given her a name, have they?
They have. They keep saying this very brief Russian name.
Yeah, no, I keep missing
it. But I don't know what it is yet.
Okay. I really like that episode where we saw all the background, which included the snippets we'd seen, but gave us much more information about what was going on. Go on.
I enjoyed seeing the snippets that you've seen that I've completely missed.
But it was just taking one episode out to do that was actually very nice.
Yes.
To bring us up to speed. It was like the reveals we've had in a couple of recent movies, where suddenly it's, oh, there's more going on here than we knew, and then they're going to fill us in on the plot straight away.
Yes.
So, without wishing to name the character or the film. Good.
I can't remember what.
I'm interested to see where that goes, but I can't decide whether it's going to be that Kasnian Supergirl becomes good or gets defeated. I can't see them having Melissa Benoist in two roles.
I think she's going to become good and then she's going to become dead. That's my prediction.
Okay.
but I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit morbid, and that feels like a good bit of Russian literature.
That is very fair, and that doesn't fit in with this whole thing. Yeah, okay.
But I found it interesting as a kind of superhero exploration of nature versus nurture.
Yep.
But I think that from what you've said, that kind of is what the whole Red Supergirl, whatever the comic
Red Sun,
book, Red Sun storyline. No, that wasn't Supergirl, was it? No, that was Superman.
It's Superman. The idea was basically it was 12 hours later, so we hit Russia rather than America. And so the sort of communist Russia becomes the overarching thing in the world. And it is, and it's been a long time since I read it, but the defeat of Superman in the end, the thing that stops, because at some point Superman becomes the ruler and runs everything. Even this world's Batman and Lois Lane, everyone fight against him and they can't win. And in the end, the thing that defeats him is Lex Luthor gives him a note, and it's something like, how does it feel to control the world? Or something. And it's just that the thing he didn't want to do was make everyone bend to his will, and he realises that's what he's had to do to get the world to where he wanted to be. So he decides to leave at that point.
Right.
It's just very clever. It's not that he's defeated by the kickiest kick.
No, it's that he's realised that actually his inner I'm trying to find words and words are not coming, but his belief system has actually led him to go counter to his own beliefs.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, that's a nice ending. So, and I suspect we might see something like that because they are kind of doing that storyline now.
Yeah, because I think they've done it very nicely in that they've written into this Red Supergirl, whatever she's called, some of the same personality traits that Kara has innately in terms of her caring and her love and her, but they've also, Lex has manipulated that into a place of working against America.
Yeah, it's very smart.
And you can see how, if you are only given snapshots of any particular society, if you're only given snapshots of the bad bits of that society, you can build up a mental picture of this society is bad.
Right.
And I feel that that's what they portrayed Lex as doing with her.
As someone who likes The Great Gatsby, I did love using that as a way of showing the worst elements of society.
And as someone who dislikes it, I can totally see how it would work.
Yeah, and for all the reasons you might dislike it, that's how they're using it.
Yeah.
Works in both ways. Just a quick aside, when she goes to America, her fake name is Linda Lee. Linda Lee Danvers is one of the original Supergirls.
Oh, nice,
in the comics,
nice.
So that was very cute.
Oh, they do that so well.
Yeah, there's been a couple of little things like that, which is quite nice.
Jon
Jones.
Oh yeah, he had a bit of an arc, didn't he?
The thing that I am liking about this, and I think there's more to his arc to come, it was very clear they were setting something up. They were actually going to go to a place with him, and I thought he might turn evil, which still might come.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very easy for him to be the Giles character. He's in charge. He's the dad. He's helping everyone along, and that gives him something to do in every episode. They've given this character an arc, almost like a coming-of-age arc, understanding who he is, not following his father's footsteps. It's meant... I wonder if this is just the actor didn't have time to film on all the other sets. They had people coming to him when he was there or something.
Maybe.
But I've enjoyed his arc.
I have, and it's interesting because I think it feels like they are ramping up what actually was a much longer arc, because it feels like he was leaning on a crutch of following orders as a soldier.
Yep.
Initially up until Supergirl joined the DEO.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how he does good. Whilst he's recovering from the emotional scars of having run away from Mars. Yeah. And then he's gone through this whole thing of getting feelings and getting a family and coming back to his dad and trying to force himself as a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
And as you say, coming a very long coming of age, but it does feel like a very good character growth development. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's really good. I've liked the antagonisation with Manchester Black.
Yes.
I think that has worked. They've played that very nicely. I've liked him. They've still used him as the Giles, giving advice, giving a place for people to go to. But then certainly that end sequence with his dad was superbly well written.
Really powerful.
And really well done. So I'm interested to see where that goes. I don't know where it's going. I'm not sure I entirely care in the bigger picture stuff, but I'm interested for the character. And it's not often that I'm interested in characters in that way.
Yeah, no, me too. And I hope it goes in a good way. I feel like we are in the process of building a team that works for good outside the framework of the DEO.
True, yeah.
You know, I feel...
It's a very nice shout, yeah.
You know, because Nia Null is not part of the DEO,
no.
And is not going to be part of the DEO.
No.
Supergirl is no longer part of the DEO.
Yep. We've
already predicted that Alex is going to retire to a life of domesticity.
Yep.
Jon is no longer in the DEO. Who knows what will happen with Brainy, who I also want to talk about. Love a bit of Brainy.
Well, we're about to come to.
But do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like next season we will see them as a team working together.
Yeah.
But I think they'll have a new bat lair. That won't be the central HQ of
which
the DEO.
might be the Martian Manhunter's office and all of this.
Yes. Because it does look a bit like Giles's office.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I was going to segue, like, as you've mentioned Brainy in the same way I normally do, but we're going to lampshade it. We are segueing to Brainy. We talked about, in the last one, I think we talked about how we're enjoying him, he's very fun, they've kept the pomposity, but lost the grating elements of the character. This time they've given him a little bit of an arc, a few things to do. And yet he plays him with that accent that the way he talks has that element of, well, I'm right and I know what I'm doing and I'm always in control and I know better than all of you. But he's talking about dealing with his problems, trying to understand things. He's trying to be a bit of a mentor to Nia. He's trying to but still understand that he has a crush on her and she possibly has a crush on him. And he's being a friend with people. And then he still gets to do comedy.
Quoting Keanu Reeves as to why they couldn't have a romantic relationship. I loved it.
It's wonderful.
I honestly think this last set of episodes, I mean, there's a lot of good in it. I've really enjoyed it. I think Brainy might be one of my favourite things.
I think so too. I think the sparing moments he gets when Lena was sad and he just says, little boxes, comrade, and are we continuing the little boxes thing? It's interesting that we're continuing that. Is that going to come to something? Because you don't keep stuff going if you're going to... But that's very nice, and it's a nice character piece. The thing with the ring, learning not to use the ring, was very good drama for him, and using the emotion of it. But just the comedy of him trying to understand the relationship, the comedy of him not getting on with Superman's robot, and things like that, which I had to look up, to be honest with you, and apparently robots like that basically raised him.
Okay.
Is the thing, and he hates robots like that.
Fair enough.
Is the comic book side of it.
Right.
Yeah. But great. Like, they don't explain it, they just make it a character beat.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I thought what was interesting, when he was having a little bit of a freak out, and he was talking about microaggressions and the disdain that Mon-El had for him sometimes, I'm just like, that's really interesting.
Yeah, because Mon-El's from his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly there is, or the way it was portrayed to me is there is some form of speciesism, racism against him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he's not actually fully natural.
No, and because all his family are villains. The Brainiac family are always villains.
Yes. So yes, you can see how there would be that sort of separation between him and the rest of whatever gang they call them.
The Legion.
The
of
Legion.
Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes, that's it.
Yeah, I'm interested that they're not putting him in his makeup very often.
Mm.
I wonder if that's not something he likes doing or something they feel they need to very often.
Well, I feel like he's building this new life for himself in his identity as a human.
Yeah. And we weren't sure about including him in the series, and I'm now at a point I'm actually very glad they included him.
Yeah, me too.
He's
me
really
too.
good.
He's
Yeah.
really interesting, and his relationship with Nia is very interesting.
Absolutely. And Nia herself she's become very powerful psychic very quickly, so I don't feel like they're wanting to explore that with her. I wonder if there's more coming. But what they have done with her has generally been quite good.
Yes, I mean, it's been good.
Mm-hmm.
It's been less exciting than when it was a bit of a question mark when she in the first bit of the series.
Yeah.
To me, like now that we've gone, oh hey, this is Nia, and look at her, she could do all these magical things.
Yeah.
But I have enjoyed the touches of her trying to emulate Kara and getting it a step wrong, and watching Kara coach her mid-battle scene.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch.
Absolutely.
I think there's more to come with Nia. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether it will come this season.
Okay.
I wonder if they're storing up some more Nia character growth, etc. next season.
Yeah, that would match what they've done in previous seasons where we've gone, hey, they haven't resolved that thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's to come, because there was obviously the thing with her sister.
Yes.
And they are using her. She is a trans character, so they're using that as part of the story, part of the writing, and they're doing it very well.
Yeah.
They're both having supportive people and showing the horridness of the negativity towards it.
Yes.
Which is good. The bit with Kara coaching her, it reminds me of the sort of Tony Stark, Peter Parker dynamic, and the way the MCU does it in the middle of fights and has people talking to each other and dealing with stuff. Yeah. It's really good.
I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Especially enjoyed it when she was like, no, just be strong with your hands on your hips, not shouting in their face strong. And then Jon shouted in his face. Yeah. I was just like, okay,
and that tells
I'm
you
here
something
for that.
In both ways. Sometimes you need to do it, and Jon is going too far in this thing.
Yes, because that's before Jon had his resetting of self-knowledge.
So I'm about to ask you about what you think is going to come. Do you think Manchester Black is coming back? What do you think the end of the series is going to be? But before that, and to give you some thinking time, we've had episodes called, I'm going to run through the episodes, but some of them I'm going to highlight because they're good names. Suspicious Minds, with the interrogating people's minds and covering their thoughts and things. Blood Memory, Menagerie, fine. What's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way?
Is that where Red Daughter came to America?
No, that is the whole satellite one. Yeah, it doesn't really fit with the episode, but it's a good title. Stand and Deliver. And the introduction of Lex Luthor. The episode was called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I like that.
The history one about
Red Daughter
was called The House of L, but just L, the letter.
Okay,
as
nice.
in Luthor.
Not
the House of Kal-El and
that's
Kal-El.
very clever.
And the last episode where they were searching for Eve Taskmaster, all about Eve.
Excellent.
They've done some quite good naming of episodes in this. I do see them and go, I quite appreciate that.
I think Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is my favourite.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. What was it? Is that your favourite? Or have you got a different one?
I think so. Yeah, that's a good cat. I mean, it's a great film, so I'm always happy when it's referenced. Manchester Black. Do you think he's coming back?
No,
he's gone.
I think he's gone. I think the purpose of him was that tension for Jon.
Okay.
And I think having him say that slightly emotional, you're beautiful. when Jon killed him and showed his Martian form.
Yeah.
And also because, Manchester was really quite one track.
Yeah.
He just wanted to kill Ben Browder? That's not
That's astronaut Jon Cryer from Farscape. He's an astronaut.
Ben Lockwood. That's
Ben Lockwood. Similar. It sounds like Browder.
Oh dear. But he's not really there for the revolution. His drivers.
The
revelation.
So listen to my declaration. This is gone. This episode's gone.
But his drivers were actually a little bit more pedestrian. He wanted revenge for the killing of his fiancée.
Yeah.
So I feel that he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
His mate with the bowler hat, what happened to him?
I think he got arrested.
Oh, okay.
Because Supergirl knocked him out. Well, so, might be coming back.
I wonder if he
might be coming back.
I wonder if they might be back.
That's interesting, because just not long before he was killed, you were talking about whether he was going to be redeemed or not. And I still don't think he could be, but I can still see it now, him being part of Jon's conscience through this staff. I mean, Jon was able to channel his father through the staff. Can he channel Manchester through the staff? Is he coming back in a kind of, whether to help or hinder, I don't know.
Yeah, because there was a moment when I thought he'd been absorbed into Jon.
Yeah.
Because I thought Jon's I don't think I was listening clearly enough. I was like, can I hear Manchester's accent in the way Jon's delivering this line? And no, because...
He's just growling.
yeah, basically.
Now, Manchester has been cast on Star Trek Discovery Season 3. So he's definitely not back for the next season of Supergirl, but I could see him in the next few episodes. I can see him making an appearance. Yeah. Right. We've got Red Daughter pretending to be Supergirl, attacking things and escalating Lex's plan. We've got Lex, we've got the Children of Liberty, we've got the alien thing, and we've got Supergirl now as Public Enemy number 1. Thoughts for the next 5 episodes? S'il vous plaît.
We're going to get to a point where things are going to get really bad.
Okay.
Over the next 4 episodes.
Okay.
And I think somehow publicly there's going to be both Supergirls on TV, so the world can see what is happening, so we can reset the world's belief in Supergirl by the end of it.
Right.
And I think Red Daughter is going to step away from executing whatever foul deed Luthor puts her up to.
Okay.
And I think she's either going to allow herself to be destroyed, or she's going to leave the planet.
Okay.
But honestly, within that being my prediction for the overarching main plot denouement,
right?
I can't really predict any of the roundabouts.
Okay.
How about you?
I think I agree with that. I think I could see them making her good in inverted commas, not as evil as she is evil, and not necessarily letting herself be destroyed, but sacrificing herself to do. He has a satellite that is going to blot out the sun again, and she sacrifices herself to do that, but it's hugely Kryptonian and kills her.
Yes.
Something along those lines.
I did have one more thought around that, because I'm the same with you, but
go on.
I feel they're setting an awful lot of these characters up with a weakness that is familial. So, Ben Lockwood... No, no. What
you
I mean
on this CW show they're setting up family as
so Ben Lockwood has got his son.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure at some point his son is going to be in peril or killed.
Yeah, fair.
And that's going to be a turning point for the Ben Lockwood character.
Right.
Red Daughter has got little Kasnian child, Mikhail, who was used to flame her hatred of America, but we know is still alive. So he's going to be a turning point somewhere. Supergirl has got Alex, who is her beating heart and not super powered. To a certain extent, Lex has got Lena. Because if he didn't care about her, why is she still alive?
True.
So I'm just wondering, Lena's got her mother, who she's got very complex emotions. It's like they're building up a lot of...
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm wondering if that's going to play a part in it.
Yeah, the point is, I think that they're blood relations.
Yes.
Not family of choice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure something's going to play out that involves that sort of dynamic.
Yes, I can see there almost being a juxtaposition, the killing of Lockwood's son to turn him evil, and the rescue of Mikhail to turn Cassidy and Supergirl good.
Exactly. Exactly. And I quite like that dopey but bad because he's dopey.
Yeah.
Guy, whatever he was called, Otis.
Yeah.
Actually not being bad enough to be able to just off a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I quite like that.
They're doing stuff very well. I think it is setting itself apart from the other shows because, again, it's heavily serialized. I don't feel like we're getting episode of the week stuff anymore.
No.
They are. Each episode is its own arc. But very much this is they're taking the season to tell a story. And
absolutely.
I appreciate it because of the way they've set everything up and had revelations that actually Lex is behind it all.
I can't think of an episode in the set that we've just watched where I felt it lagged.
Right. Okay.
I've enjoyed all the way through, and I think each episode would have real peaks of both emotion and excitement. Yeah, but like in the way that we sometimes talk about, and I guess it's not been a problem for any of the Arrowverse that much, but like Heroes. I have distinct memories of watching, and I only ever watched the first season of Heroes, but I have distinct memories of sitting down to watch an episode and going, well, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
None of the cliffhangers from the last episode have even slightly been addressed.
No. Too many stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think this has that problem.
No.
I am very engaged. And so we're going to go downstairs and watch the last 5 now, right?
Absolutely. I think there are sometimes story beats too many. They explore everything in every bit of detail they can. I mean, they've got 22, however many episodes they have, so they have to. But there's a few times I feel like this could have been a 15, 20 episode season, and we could just rein back some of the Lena being very down about something, Nia being upset about something, Kara discussing her sister discussing her. I feel like every step of every arc and every journey has to be discussed.
See, I quite like that,
right?
Because, and again, this is me watching things in my heart as much as my head. It helps me feel engaged with the thought patterns of the characters, which helps me feel more emotionally connected to them.
Got it. Yep,
but
that's nice.
Yeah,
good. So 5 more episodes to go.
Yay!
And we will be back with. So we've still got Flash, we've still got Arrow, and we've still got the end of Legends to watch as well.
So yay! Yay!
There is a lot more to come. We'll see if any of them come to anything quite as exciting.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about the next 3 episodes of Arrow.
Oh, I'm all agog.
Last we had the crossover.
Yep.
So now we have 3 more episodes. We have My Name is Emiko Queen.
Is what?
My name is Emiko Queen.
Emiko Queen. Have we got a Japanese?
Because remember his sister? Remember there was that whole thing of the girl in front of his father's grave.
Oh.
And I think she might even mentioned her brother.
Yes.
So My Name is Emiko Queen. We have Past Sins.
Yep.
That was a rough one. And we have Emerald Archer. Episode 150.
Ooh.
And yes, they did a special thing. So, My Name is Emiko Queen is a whole thing where we get to know her more. Renee particularly gets to know her.
Does he now?
Yeah, they're not setting up that, actually.
Okay.
They're setting them up just as kind of partners reluctantly.
Right.
She doesn't really want a partner. Her father, Oliver's father, never really was there for her. He does, as he's researching it, he does... Oh yeah, this is the thing, because he's now been deputized. He goes to investigate a thing where they almost caught the Green Arrow, the new Green Arrow, and who I think has been referred to as NGA. They find some blood. Felicity analyzes the blood, finds out it's Queen blood. And that's how they start researching. So that's quite nice.
Okay. So is Emiko
NGO?
Emiko
is New Green Arrow.
Oh.
And is Oliver's half-sister.
Right.
There's family issues in the backstory. Father was never there. His mother found out about her and has basically locked up and kept it secret for all these years. Right. But they managed to find out more about her. Argus, remember how Diggle went to Diaz for help?
Yep.
They start reinstating the Ghost Initiative, Suicide Squad.
Right.
but with Diaz. And they bring in... Oh, who do they bring in? They bring in Cupid.
Who's
Remember
Cupid?
the archer who fell in love with Oliver after he saved her and became a sort of evil
Yes.
archer. They bring in China White. And they bring in Son of Deathstroke.
Right. Who we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of Slade.
Son of Slade.
They do a whole thing with him where Curtis is all against it, and Curtis goes to check that the bombs are not going to explode on everyone because they put bombs in their head like the Suicide Squad.
Right.
But it turns out he's basically hacking the bombs and setting it up as a sort of holodeck thing, and he makes Diaz give him the information through Diaz thinking he's escaping.
Right.
This holodeck thing.
So has Diaz got a bomb head?
Diaz does have a bomb head.
Excellent.
Yes. So there's lots of investigating, lots of working, and in the future stuff, Renee, Wild Dog, is the mayor of the Glades.
Okay.
And he appears to be working with the person who wants to blow up the rest of the city to make the Glades better.
Okay.
So we're not sure what's going to come of that. We have the Past Sins episode where someone from Earth 2 appears to be following Laurel. And it turns out it's the person who killed Quentin in Earth 2, who she then killed in Earth 2.
Quentin's her dad,
Her
right?
dad, yeah, Quentin Lance.
Yeah.
But it turns out it is the Earth 1 version. He just hates vigilantes. It's a bit weird.
Okay.
It's a bit contrived, but it is bringing Laurel more into the good side of things.
Right.
And sort of helping everyone.
Yeah.
And making her friends with Felicity, particularly. It's quite
Right.
good.
Okay.
There's a whole fun sequence with them drinking wine together, where Felicity's basically obsessed with the wine.
Fair enough.
and when Laurel sees this person and rushes them out of the bar, Felicity's like, "But the wine." That was quite nice.
Nice.
SPCD is held hostage by a suicide bomber who uses electricity, and there's been a whole chase throughout this thing to find this guy. And it turns out this guy is the son bodyguard who was on the life raft that Oliver's father shot.
Oh, God.
So we have had a couple of deep episodes about Oliver trying not to be his father and realising that in trying to be not his father, he is doing some of the same actions as his father because he's not telling people the truth. He's not being open and honest. So he's trying to be open and honest.
Right.
And in the next episode, Emerald Archer, we did see some of that. Him starting to, actually, I should have told this person this thing. So he goes and tries to tell them a thing and so on.
Yeah. I approve of this.
Yeah. And then we have the Emerald Archer episode.
Right.
Emerald Archer is one of the... You know how like Batman is the Caped Crusader?
Yes.
Emerald Archer is the Green Arrow.
Okay.
Okay. And it's all themed around a documentary called The Hood and the Rise of the Vigilantes. So a documentary about vigilantes in Star City. Interviews, and it is a documentary crew following Oliver, but there are interviews with Oliver, with Felicity, with Diggle, and they do a really nice thing of showing Diggle in 2012 going, definitely not Oliver Queen, he's a drunken frat boy, I know my job, he's not getting away from me, he's definitely not the Green Arrow. And then it cuts to him now going, well, clearly that clip has not aged well.
Nice, I like it.
We have lots of people in that. We have Ragman back for the episode talking about it. We have Thea back for the episode talking about it. Or comments from Thea over the years. We have Laurel talking about it. We have Barry Allen guest starring and talking about the rise of vigilantes as a fellow police person who has worked with Oliver and going, no, I didn't know he was Green Arrow until he came out. I had no idea. I did not know. But Oliver's interesting. Oliver's very damaged. No, I don't mean like how it sounds. No, can I take that back? Can I? It's all just Oliver being sick. And it's a really short moment, but nice to have. Documentary crew is following them. There is a new person hunting down vigilantes called Chimera.
What, a vigilante to attack vigilantes?
Yeah, basically, and that's what they're saying it is. He wants to kill and steal mementos from the vigilantes. It's a bit contrived. It's typical
Arrow
running around fighting stuff. Yeah, it's the same sort of sequences we've seen, but it's half the episode is from the point of view of the documentary crew following them.
Right.
So it's filmed a little bit more differently. It's you see Oliver interacting with the crew and telling them to go away and moving them around as he's fighting and stuff. It's
is it Arrow? What we do in the shadows, Arrow style? Yeah,
a little bit. It kind of cops-esque, that sort of thing. So that was interesting. The denouement of that is that he gets Diggle and Renee and Curtis to help him take down this guy. But because they're vigilantes who aren't deputized by the police, they're arrested. At the same time, in the sequence where they take him down, Dinah has to reveal that she's the Black Canary because she has to use the canary cry to stop a thing falling on the mayor.
Yeah.
So the mayor realizes she's been lied to. Everyone gets arrested. They go to see the mayor, and Dinah and Oliver hand in their resignation. They're like, if you're going to arrest our friends, we can't be part of this. And the mayor says, no, what we're actually going to do is deputise everyone. Team Arrow is now part of the system.
Good.
Which I like.
Yes.
This is Civil War. And the discussion in Civil War is, if you're part of the system, they will tell you to do things you don't want to do. There is the chance the mayor says, you need to go and arrest this person, or take down this person despite them being a good person, or despite it not being in the best interests.
Yep.
Acting as a vigilante outside of that means you can act on your own moral code.
Yes.
I don't think Arrow is going to do that story, but they are setting up that story.
Because we've had that a bit in Supergirl as well, with
the DEO.
The control of the DEO by the President / Lex.
So it'll be interesting to see if they come to that, but they have now deputised everyone. Yeah. It appears everyone is out in who they are.
Yeah.
As their vigilante secret identities and that kind of thing. And the flash forward cuts to the cage fighty girl, who we think is possibly part of the bombing person, maybe not the bombing person, we're not sure yet. It turns out she's watching the documentary.
Okay.
In the future. Someone says to her that the documentary is banned, that vigilantes are completely banned, and she does talk them down. She says, they got what was coming to them for their actions, all this kind of thing. But the ending of the documentary is Oliver going back to the Team Arrow bunker and deciding he's going to rebuild it. Now we're legitimate. We're going to have a proper base of operations again. In Flash, so I don't know if we're going to see the lounge less in Flash. But in watching the documentary, the girl in the future has been able to work out where the Team Arrow bunker is, and she's going to the bunker for reasons.
Okay.
So they're starting to merge those two stories a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I'm enjoying. That's quite a nice touch.
You've just said I'm enjoying.
Yeah, the writing to merge, I could not see how they were going to merge the flash forwards with the current story.
Yeah.
And there is just sight that actually things will work out well for Team Arrow, because I was worried they were going to have to leave Team Arrow in terrible situations, and then but actually I could see there is going to be a difference here. We might not tell the story of the decline of the vigilantes and the rise of but they're sort of bridging that a little bit.
Okay.
But it is also a technique we've seen done in Lost.
I am very glad that you're watching it for me.
So that wraps us up for another week.
It's nice watching it in smaller
thoughts,
chunks.
questions, or comments. You can use the hashtag ATAV on Twitter. Or you can find us on Twitter, Facebook,
it feels over-convoluted.
Gushing.
And
if you want to help support us,
it still feels a little bit too misery-driven.
Exclusive
and
content.
the only character that I really care about is still Felicity.
Yeah.
And don't forget to visit the homepage, eloquentgushing.com,
Oliver's son
where
is
you
back
can find
the
other shows across the network and subscribe to our
Forced drama through lying.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you.
I've tried to sell it. I tried to highlight the fun bits, but you are right. It is a lot of secrets through the necessity of keeping secrets. I don't feel like this is a show that's trying to expand the universe.
We will see how I feel after the next chunk of 3.
Okay.
That there is a world in which I watch the very end with you.
For more
there
shows
is a world in which I don't.
We shall see what we get to. Okay.
Cool.